You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Okay, so you're ready for all the Black Ops 6 information?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the internet is just like a total minefield right now with rumors and speculation and just guesswork, and it's hard to separate fact from fiction.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that here today so you know what to actually expect from the next Black Ops game.
Exactly. And, while Activision and Treyarch are keeping things pretty quiet, there's actually a lot we can learn from just looking back at past releases and looking at industry trends and even, those little leaks and rumors that pop up.
Yeah, I mean, they're always out there.
Oh, yeah, always. Yeah.
So let's dive into what we actually know for sure.
Okay. Sounds good.
First off, there's no official release date yet.
Right.
But most of what we're seeing is pointing to like late 2024 or early 2025.
Yeah, that seems to be the window that everyone's looking at.
Yeah, which is pretty typical for Call of Duty.
Uh-huh.
Right? I mean, November release and midnight launches. Are you already picturing yourself waiting in line?
That's practically a tradition at this point.
It is. It is.
But, speaking of patterns, we got to remember Black Ops 5 Cold War.
Yes.
It was a huge success.
Huge.
But I think more importantly, it gives us clues about what Treyarch might be building on for Black Ops 6.
Right. And it wasn't just the campaign that was a hit either.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the multiplayer, the zombies modes, they were hugely popular.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't forget the integration with Warzone.
Absolutely.
So what does all of this tell us about what we might get to play?
Well, I think, if you think about the gunsmith system in Cold War, it gave players an insane level of customization for their weapons.
It really did.
So could Black Ops 6 refine that even further? Could they give us even more control over attachments, camos, the whole 9 yards? I mean, it's a pretty safe bet that they're going to want to build on what worked.
Yeah, for sure. And then think about, how they could weave that level of customization into Warzone as well.
Oh, yeah.
Give players a sense of ownership over their loadouts across both games.
Absolutely. And that's actually a key trend we're seeing in the industry right now.
Yeah.
Rewarding players for investing time in multiple titles within a franchise.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah. And that brings us to another huge question mark hanging over Black Ops 6.
Oh, yeah. Game Pass.
The Game Pass question.
Yeah.
With Microsoft's acquisition of Activision.
Right.
Everyone is wondering if we'll see Black Ops 6 on Game Pass at launch.
Yeah, that's the big question.
Now, that would be a game changer.
Oh, yeah.
Especially for Xbox players.
It would shake things up for sure.
For sure.
Imagine having, day one access to a brand new Black Ops title without needing to buy it outright.
Right.
That could drastically change the player base.
Yeah.
Potentially bring in a whole new wave of new players.
Definitely.
Who might not have picked it up otherwise.
Yeah, and it's not even just about the price either.
Right.
Being on Game Pass, I think, could really influence how Treyarch approaches content updates.
Oh, for sure.
And maybe even map releases.
Yeah. I mean, they'd have to keep players engaged over a longer period of time, knowing they have this wider audience that expects that fresh content.
It's a fascinating possibility to think about.
It is.
We've seen other big titles on Game Pass adopt a more service-oriented approach, so Black Ops 6 could very well follow suit.
All right, so let's get into some of the fun stuff now.
Okay.
The rumor mill is churning out campaign theories left and right.
Always.
What are the whispers saying about where Black Ops 6 might take us?
Well, Black Ops is really known for its intense stories and, covert ops.
There, for sure.
Political intrigue.
Yes.
And, of course, edge-of-your-seat action.
Of course.
You can't forget about that.
Right, but where will all that action unfold?
Right.
Will we see a direct sequel to Cold War? A totally new setting? Maybe even a return to a fan-favorite location from a previous Black Ops game?
Yeah.
I'm dying to know what Treyarch has up their sleeve.
Well, some industry insiders think that Treyarch might be leaning towards a near-future setting.
It's interesting.
Somewhere in the 2030s.
Okay.
And if you think about the technological advances we've seen just in the past few years...
I know, right?
Imagine what warfare might look like in another decade or so.
Crazy.
You got drones.
Yeah.
You got cyber warfare.
Yeah.
Advanced weaponry.
That's a really interesting point. And
Yeah.
it would give them a chance to explore, like, the ethical implications of those technologies, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, how do you create a believable story around autonomous weapons or information warfare?
Right, and that's something that Black Ops has always done well.
Yeah.
Using its fictional world to kind of explore real-world anxieties and issues.
Exactly.
So it'll be interesting to see how they tackle that, if that's the direction they're heading in.
For sure. Okay, so let's shift gears to another area where expectations are sky high. Multiplayer.
Yeah.
What kind of innovation can we expect there beyond just new maps and weapons?
Well, there's been a lot of chatter online about the potential for destructible environments. You know, imagine blasting holes in walls to create new flanking routes.
Yeah.
Or even collapsing entire buildings on your enemies.
That would be intense.
Right.
But could they actually pull that off?
It would be a challenge, for sure.
I bet.
But it's not outside the realm of possibility.
Okay.
There are a few things to consider, though.
Okay.
First, they have to find a way to make the destruction feel impactful and strategic.
Right.
You know, not just like random chaos.
Yeah.
Second, it would have a huge impact on map design.
Yeah, I bet.
Think about how they'd have to balance destructibility with maintaining cover and flow.
Right.
And finally, it would have to be optimized for performance across all platforms.
Yeah.
Including last-gen consoles.
Of course.
So, yeah, a lot to juggle.
That does sound like a lot.
But if they can pull it off, it'd be a game changer for the franchise.
It would.
Imagine the new tactical possibilities it would unlock for players.
Yeah.
It could fundamentally change how we approach combat in Black Ops.
For sure. And then there's the ever-popular zombies mode.
Oh, yeah, gotta have zombies.
This is where Treyarch really gets to unleash its creativity.
Yeah.
And the fan theories are already running wild.
They're all over the place.
What kind of undead nightmare do you think they'll throw at us this time?
Well, one theory that's going around online is that Black Ops 6 will continue the Dark Aether storyline from Cold War.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one? Interdimensional beings and ancient evils.
Uh-huh.
A whole new mythology for the zombies mode.
Yeah, that was a pretty wild departure for zombies.
It was.
A lot of fans loved it.
Yeah.
But it also left a ton of unanswered questions.
It did.
So it would make sense for Treyarch to kind of pick up that thread and run with it.
Yeah, they could introduce like new enemy types and expand on the lore. Maybe even give us some answers about those mysterious artifacts we saw in Cold War.
Oh, yeah, and imagine the new settings they could explore within the Dark Aether.
Right.
I mean, we've already seen glimpses of other dimensions, so the possibilities are endless.
Endless.
Yeah.
But, you know, Treyarch could always throw us a curveball.
Oh.
Maybe they'll revisit a classic zombies map from a previous Black Ops game, but with a modern twist.
Ooh, like a remastered version of Kino der Toten.
Yeah.
With updated graphics and new gameplay mechanics?
Exactly.
I'd be all over that.
Right. Or maybe they'll go in a completely new direction with a brand new cast of characters and a storyline that has no connection to previous games.
Interesting.
There are whispers online about a potential World War II setting for zombies.
World War II zombies?
Yeah, which would be a pretty dramatic shift.
That's a really interesting idea.
It is.
They could tie it into some of the real-world occult experiments that were happening during that era.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Think about the potential for creepy atmosphere and historical intrigue.
Exactly. And it would give them a chance to introduce some new weapons and gadgets that fit that time period.
Yeah, what would they use?
Imagine fighting off hordes of zombies with a Tommy gun or an M1 Garand.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued.
Yeah.
No matter what direction they go in, it sounds like zombies is going to be as unpredictable and terrifying as ever. Oh, yeah. But we can't forget about another key piece of the Call of Duty puzzle.
Right.
Warzone.
Yeah.
How do you think Black Ops 6 will interact with that massive Battle Royale experience?
Well, we've already seen how seamlessly previous Black Ops titles integrated with Warzone.
For sure.
Shared progression systems, weapons operators, even map elements borrowed from Black Ops Cold War.
Yeah.
It's a smart way to create a cohesive experience across multiple games.
Right, and it makes sense from a business standpoint, too.
Oh, yeah.
Keeps players engaged in both games.
Keeps them in the ecosystem.
Encourages them to spend more time in the Call of Duty ecosystem.
Exactly, but I think they could push that integration even further with Black Ops 6.
Okay, how?
Imagine dropping into a massive Warzone map that features iconic locations from Black Ops 6's campaign or multiplayer modes.
Ooh, that would be incredible.
Right.
Imagine fighting through the streets of a futuristic city from the Black Ops 6 campaign, or battling it out in a destructible version of a classic Black Ops multiplayer map.
Yeah, possibilities are endless.
They are.
And think about the potential for Warzone events that tie into the Black Ops 6 storyline.
Oh, yeah.
They could introduce limited-time modes, special challenges, maybe even new operators based on characters from the campaign.
I mean, that would be a great way to keep the experience fresh and exciting for players long after the initial launch of Black Ops 6.
Absolutely.
It would create a sense of a living, breathing world that's constantly evolving.
For sure. And speaking of evolving,
yeah,
we've talked a lot about the potential for innovation in Black Ops 6. But what about accessibility?
Oh, that's a good point.
What are your thoughts on how Treyarch might make the game more welcoming to new players?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Because Call of Duty does have a reputation for being pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Especially the multiplayer modes.
Yeah, it can be intimidating.
Yeah, so it would be smart for Treyarch to find ways to ease new players into the experience.
Right. I mean, one thing they could do is refine the tutorial system.
Oh,
make it more engaging and interactive. Maybe even integrate it into the early stages of the campaign.
That's a great idea.
That way players could learn the ropes without feeling like they're being bombarded with information all at once.
Yeah, I like that. And they could also introduce some more casual, friendly multiplayer modes.
Oh, yeah, like what?
Maybe a mode with slower pacing, simpler objectives, and a greater emphasis on teamwork.
Right.
Something that allows new players to get a feel for the game without being overwhelmed by veteran players.
Yeah, for sure. And they could also build upon the accessibility features that were introduced in previous Call of Duty titles.
Oh, absolutely.
Things like colorblind modes, customizable controls, and text-to-speech options.
Yep.
Those can make a huge difference for players with disabilities.
A huge difference.
It's all about creating a welcoming and inclusive experience for players of all skill levels and backgrounds.
Couldn't agree more.
After all, the more people who can enjoy Black Ops 6, the better.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. We've explored the potential release window, the Game Pass mystery, the campaign rumors, the multiplayer and zombies hype, and the integration with Warzone.
So much.
It's safe to say the anticipation for Black Ops 6 is at a fever pitch.
It is.
What aspect are you most curious about?
It's hard to choose just one thing.
I know, right?
I'm really excited about the potential innovations we talked about,
Yeah.
especially the destructible environments and multiplayer.
Yeah,
I mean, that could really change the game in a big way.
it really could.
But I'm also super curious to see what they do with the campaign storyline.
Right.
Black Ops has always been so good at delivering these cinematic, action-packed narratives.
They know how to tell a story.
And I feel like they're going to pull out all the stops with Black Ops 6.
Oh, yeah.
So what about you? Is there anything you're particularly looking forward to?
I think for me, what excites me most is just the potential for Treyarch to really push the boundaries of what a Call of Duty game can be. They've always been known for taking risks.
Yeah, they have.
And I have a feeling they're going to deliver something really special with this one.
Yeah.
It's going to be a game that sparks a lot of discussion and debate.
Oh, for sure.
And I think that's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what the community thinks once they actually get their hands on it.
I totally agree. And it's going to be fascinating to see how they balance all these different elements.
Right.
The innovation, the accessibility, the integration with Warzone, the legacy of the Black Ops franchise.
They got a lot to juggle.
They do, but I have faith in Treyarch.
Me too.
They've consistently delivered some of the most memorable Call of Duty experiences.
They really have.
And I have no doubt that Black Ops 6 is going to be another one for the books.
I think it's also worth remembering that this is really just the beginning of the conversation.
Yeah.
As more information comes to light,
Yeah.
as those rumors turn into confirmed details, we'll be back to break it all down.
We'll keep you updated.
So make sure you're subscribed to the podcast and following us on social media so you don't miss a beat.
Exactly. But in the meantime, we
yeah.
want to hear from you.
Oh, yeah.
What are your hopes and dreams for Black Ops 6?
What are you looking forward to?
What kind of campaign storyline would you like to see?
Yeah.
What multiplayer innovations are you most excited about?
Right. Head over to our website or our social media channels and share your thoughts.
Yeah.
We're all on this hype train together.
We are.
And we can't wait to hear what you think.
So buckle up, everyone.
Yeah.
The Black Ops 6 hype train is leaving the station.
It's leaving the station.
And it's going to be a wild ride.
It's going to be a wild ride.
Until next time, stay tuned and keep those controllers charged.
Keep them charged.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.